Good afternoon. We are live with our District Governor, Ed Presnell, with District 6920, and welcome to First Fridays. It's where we meet every month to go over everything you need to know as a Rotarian. And to start off with, I want to just ask our District Governor, how are you feeling? I know you came down with COVID. Despite being vaccinated and boosted, you still came down with it, but it looks like you're doing well.
I'm fine. The thing is, this is an interesting story to me. I'm as asymptomatic, I guess, as you can possibly get. However, as a routine, so that all our fellow Rotarians will understand, I have periodically taken random tests because of the travels. I don't want to take anything with me.
Out of respect, right.
Out of total respect to the clubs and whatnot. So I had a little bit of a sinus infection feeling over the weekend. And I thought, well, maybe I'll go check it out. And so Monday afternoon, I called my doctor and they said, come on over, take a test in the doctor's office. It wasn't a home test. It was a real doctor's office test. So I couldn't cheat it or whatever. And sure enough, I was positive. And so he said, he said, how many speeches do you have to do? I said, well, in the next 8 days, 8 working days, 8. He said, well, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what the CDC guidelines are. Yeah. So the CDC guidelines, yeah. I said, well, I'm going to pay attention to what you say, Doc. He said, well, the guidelines say you should isolate for 10 days. So when was your start date? When did you feel the symptoms first? I said, well, let's just pick Friday at noon. He said, well, that's day 0. So we count through. I get out of jail this coming Monday night at midnight and out of COVID jail and back to the real world. But since then, I've had no fever, no chills, no worse symptoms than anything. As a matter of fact, the sinus infection's gone away. My voice is maybe a little raspy, maybe not. I sleep well at night. I've been home working from home, which I have the privilege of doing, and doing Rotary work from home. And Paula and I rescheduled all the visits immediately. And I notified the folks I was around and just to make sure that everybody was aware. And, quite frankly, I'm just going to say that part of me wants to praise the vaccination. I think the vaccination probably has a lot to do. So part of me says the vaccination has a lot to do with how you reject the symptoms or take the symptoms. And I'm fine. But I'm a little bit impatient right now because I need to get outside beyond. I have cheated and walked the dog. I do cheat and go outside and walk my dog, but I've been inside. And so I've done what I'm supposed to do.
That's the right thing to do.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that. I feel good. Thank you for asking. And I really want the Rotarians that I've been around recently to know that I have taken precautions all fall long. Since the first visits I did, I've taken periodic random tests, knowing that they're just a snapshot and not an indication of that you're not going to get it. So I advise if you need to do it, take a test. It doesn't hurt anymore. It's like a shot. Shots, you get the hurt from shots go away after you have so many. So
I finally got mine through the mail. I ordered them for free. I got the 4 within a week. They came very quickly. Good. So it's a good thing if you're not feeling well. And that's how it does present. Mine was just, I thought it was a cold. After being vaccinated and boosted, I managed to get it in November. But thank heavens, it keeps you out of the hospital. I mean, it's like a seatbelt. I mean, you wear a seatbelt and
that's right.
Possibly going into the hospital if you get in an accident.
Well, as we all know, I don't want to go back in the hospital again based on my experience nearly 2 years ago now. It's been since all this pandemic started and I was in the hospital with double pneumonia and not COVID, but I was still nevertheless in ICU for 8 days. And I don't ever want to do that again. I had everything but a ventilator, so I don't want it. I don't need it, and I'll do whatever's necessary to avoid it. So, but it hadn't slowed me down. I've been sitting at this dining room table that my wife is fussing at me about cleaning up. I've been messing it up pretty good for the last few days. So I'll
Well,
have to
we're
come.
glad
This will come to an end.
we're glad you're feeling better. We're going to go over everything that Leslie put out in her wonderful newsletter each month. We're going to go over the district conference. We're going to go over
Good.
dedications.
Good.
We're going to go over pets, the district grants, CART, GRSP, and the international conference coming up. But before we get started, I really want to take a moment and remember our Andy Lawn. And we all gathered at the church
Absolutely.
on Saturday for his memorial. And yeah, it was really
It was a beautiful
moving.
memorial service. It was very inspirational in its way. It celebrated his life. We miss him. It was one of the hardest phone calls I had to deal with when I found out about it. Of course, when you get involved in these Rotary volunteer positions, you become like brothers and sisters. And so, that was that. And I will tell you, I told the presidents on our town hall meeting that my last conversation with Andy was about 9 or 10 days before he passed away. And at the end of the conversation, and I've learned to do this, and I strongly advise this, if you're comfortable. I end all of our conversations these days by saying, I love you. So as we were coming in, I said, Andy, I just want you to know I love you, brother. He said, I love you back. And that was the last words we had. So my point is, never forget to tell somebody you love that you love them, because you never know when it may be the last time you have a chance or when they have a chance. And so it just was there. I mean, the love was there. And of course, I'm here and in his place, and we've done everything with regards to Andy's enthusiasm. We've tried to add that to this year's work, and we move forward as Rotary does, but we will never forget Andy.
Never. And it was a very moving memorial on Saturday. Right. So many Rotarians showing up from all over the state to pay respect.
It was very sweet. And his club and his family and his friends, it was just really to me, it was a wonderful occasion. When I drove in the parking lot, and I'd forgotten that Andy was a volunteer firefighter, but when the fire trucks were there, that was special. That was touching.
Wonderful. That was wonderful.
Yeah. So it was just it was just nice. And also the service was followed. The next event at that church at 4:00 was an Eagle Scout ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're aware of that or not, but and Boy Scouts is something that Rotary's been heavily involved with from day one. So, and Andy I believe he was involved in scouting, and I do know but the church was having an Eagle Scout award ceremony that had been planned. So it was a day of celebration in Andy's church, one way or the other.
So we've got a lot of things scheduled ahead of time. Let's start off with talking about the district conference. It's wide open. Tell us where it's going to be and why we should attend. And what is it? What is this district conference for, if anybody's new to Rotary?
It's the district conference for our district. It's an annual event that we're finally about to have live again after a hiatus from the pandemic. We're going to do it in Augusta, Georgia on April the 29th, the 30th, and May the 1st. That's going to be the days of the conference. Rotarians from all over the district come together, and we celebrate what we've done this past year, and we anticipate what's going to happen in the future year. We have we have breakout sessions so we can learn. There's some educational components. There is a required session for a grants training. We'll get to that in a minute. We have some very nice keynote speakers lined up. I'll share those with you now. I'm delighted to share that. We'll publish the agenda in the next few days when we finished putting
Okay.
the names together. But Friday night, we're going to open up with Hamza Tota, past District Governor Hamza, defining for the audience what our international touch has been through the global grants work that he's done and led throughout the year. Hamza has really developed our international relationships over the last several years once we got an understanding of how to do it. So he's got a great presentation. I'm excited about it.
Okay.
Saturday morning is to be determined. We'll have a break in the afternoon on Saturday. Oh, by the way, we'll start on Friday with a kickoff, and we'll dedicate it to. We'll have a military recognition because Augusta's a military town. We'll also have we have a speaker. Yep, yeah, and we have a speaker lined up who is a commanding general in the Army, and we'll have them talk about cybersecurity, and it'll be a good presentation. Then we'll have the afternoon full of breakout sessions with different topics regarding Rotary's areas of focus. Saturday morning, we'll start out with breakfast, and then move into morning breakout sessions. We'll have grants training, which is mandatory for all the clubs who want to apply for district grant money. They have to have somebody in grants training, so we'll have that scheduled. Lunch will be on your own. They'll have the afternoon to enjoy the activities that will be available in Augusta, and hopefully the weather will cooperate like it normally does in early May. And they'll be able to use the downtown area, the canal, the river, the museums. There's a lot to do in Augusta. People just are not aware, but the website will take you to those options.
Excellent.
We'll resume Saturday night with a reception for the major donor. We'll have a major donor reception and a reception for the district governor-elect Heather. District Governor-elect Heather will be the honored guest. And then we move over to Saturday night session, dinner and ceremony. And our keynote speaker for the weekend is International Director Peter Kyle. And he is coming here enthusiastically from Washington, D.C. He's a member of the Capitol Hill Rotary Club. He is an extremely polished Rotarian. And I've gotten to know Peter over the last couple of years. And when I called him and asked him to come, he was just so excited. So in the middle of all that, we'll celebrate. And I just think, I'm not sure yet, I think that's going to be the time that we're going to celebrate all the lives that we've changed throughout the year in the district. That's when I hope we can unveil that.
Let's remind everybody about making sure they get their spreadsheet in about how many lives they have changed or touched throughout this year.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Paul just sent a reminder out. We've asked everybody, and as I go from club to club, it excites me more and more that we're using this concept. But we do have a spreadsheet to be populated that talks about every project each club's done, and it takes it beyond the standard report, and it goes into the result of the result. So when you look at how many people were impacted, there's a multiplier effect. And that's what we want to aggregate and really brag about, I hope, at the end of the year. I think that's going to be a number that's going to shock the world. I honestly believe that we'll have, I won't be surprised if we exceed 1 million lives touched in this district. I won't be disappointed. Yeah, and I really won't be disappointed if it's only 500,000. When I thought of it, I thought 25,000 would be pretty good. But the more I talk and the more I visit, the more we chat, the larger I see the possibilities. So I want to remind everybody, please, please, please send those sheets in. We're going to review them. And if we need to modify them, we will. There's no audit. It's the four-way test manages what the truth is and what the impact is. We know it's beneficial to all concerned, et cetera, et cetera. And we know it's fair. There's no contest. The contest is a district-wide endeavor. How many lives can this district touch using this theme of this Rotary year? And I think to me, it's really hit my heart passionately as I've gone through the year. The more it it's grown on me beyond my even beyond my comprehension. So hopefully we'll unveil that Saturday night with a drum roll, drum roll, and Peter will be there and he can report to the international president what we've done. Just between all of us on the show, I told Peter that I haven't told anybody outside of our district what we're doing, because if it didn't succeed to the level we were hoping, then we wouldn't be embarrassed. But if it did succeed, we would broadcast it to the world. So
Exactly. I don't know if you can see this, but Paula just put that up there, where to send those spreadsheets. Can you,
yes.
Paula, hold on a second. My screen's so small, it's hard to see.
I see that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Paula, for the reminder. Oh, there it is. Paula Goodnow@hotmail.com. There we go.
And Paula, while you're there, duly note that I'm wearing a rotary pin that says I've been vaccinated. So Paula and I have this ongoing discussion about, where's your rotary pin when you're on the first Friday with the governor. So I've got my pin. I have my pin. So
yes, you do.
Let me finish the agenda. So Sunday morning, we've got instead of having a worship service time, I combined that. We were able to combine it with our morning speaker, our breakfast speaker, who used to be the chaplain of the Clemson University football team, and he is a phenomenal speaker. I can't oversell this speaker. His name is Tony Eubanks, and he is very passionate about his background, his theological background, his commitment, as well as his leadership thoughts. And I think it'll be a great way to kick off the last day. Then we'll go into a business section. We've got a lot of things to take care of. You have the normal votes. You have to do some approvals and so forth. And we'll conclude the conference at noon on Sunday. And everybody can go home saying, wow, wasn't that great?
Wasn't that fun? How many people, Rotarians, do you expect?
Well, historically, we've had between 200 and 300. Historically, we've had between 200 and 300 in Augusta. Mm-hmm. We've had more, we've had less. I'd love it if we had 300, 350 people here. It would be great. I mean, I realize that it's a commitment of time. I went to one club in South Georgia recently, and I was talking about the conference. And one of the members said, sure is a long way to Augusta. I said, yeah, and it sure is a long way down here, too. So,
yeah. Well, it's actually.
I said, if stop halfway.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. 4 hours at worst from anywhere. So
it's good to move it around.
We want to make it worthwhile, and it will be fun. Yep. And we're going to have fun. I'm going to wrap up the music details, I hope, this afternoon. So be prepared. Have your happy feet. So be prepared.
I saw this on the newsletter that Leslie sent out. Tell us about that. That says Augusta. I guess it's just
Yeah, that is a website link to our Augusta Convention and Visitors Bureau. And
okay.
That will take you, that link will take you and show you some of the things that can be done in Augusta as a visitor. It's a real neat website.
Leslie, at the bottom of the newsletter has all the links for you to sign up for the district conference, sign up for PETS. So
yes.
PETS is around the corner. So what is PETS, and why do you?
PETS is the all right. Yeah. So I want everybody to know about PETS. It's primarily President-elect training seminar, and it's in Atlanta. It's annual. All the president-elects are required to attend PETS, PETS, and it's a weekend. I think it's the last weekend in February. In fact, I know it is.
The 26th.
It's at the Renaissance. Yep. Mm-hmm. And PETS is statewide. All the districts combined do PETS. So the committee is comprised of each district representatives, incoming governors, existing sitting governors, and then the training committee, the training facilitators. We have speakers lined up again, very prominent speakers lined up. It's just going to be a wonderful time again. This will be District Governor-elect Heather's introduction to her class of presidents, where they have a chance to meet, learn, and bond. And I think that's important for the presidents to know. It's not as much a club, it is a club trip. It's more for the presidents and the assistant governors and that level so that they can bond and become a team. As you know, we didn't get a chance because of the pandemic. We didn't get a chance to do that. So we've kind of bonded along the way, and it's been fun.
It has been fun, Ed, because I know, like, I'm president of the Savannah Club this year, and our AG Whitney has put us all together with the surrounding clubs, and we stay connected and we share things. Like just the other day, Ann Cadero with the Savannah South Club came to our club and donated money to a district grant that we're working with to plant trees. I mean, it's just been a collaboration of all the Rotary clubs. So there was a silver lining in it.
Yeah, it's been, when I look back on it, and I didn't know what to think back in the summer, but as I'm looking back, I think we have bonded and we've restored life to the concept of meeting in person and meeting together in the district. I think we've bonded in terms of who we are as Rotarians, what our focus is in terms of local and regional and international service. We've bonded in terms of friendships and the four-way test application and so forth. So again, we bonded in the vein of let's have fun and let's do this. We're all volunteers. And as I say all the time, we're all drawing the same paycheck. And by the way, today's Friday, it's payday. I just put my Rotary paycheck in my heart, in my bank. So it's a reminder. And so this will be the beginning of the next administration, if you will.
Yeah, the Rotary year basically starts July 1st.
Right, that's correct. So we're coming to one or doing the baton handoff. The district conference is not the end of the year, but it's a celebration of the year. And it gives us a couple of months after that to wrap up the year.
So actually, here's something else that for getting citations, part of the points is if you bring 2 raffle prizes to the district conference, you get more points. So anybody watching out there, if you have any ideas for raffles, who should we let know?
Kelly, we have again, that's something else I'll do this afternoon. COVID jail's fun. I get to do a lot of stuff in the afternoon. Kelly Knitter and I are working on the conference together, and we have she's our conference chair, and we've got an outline of chores to do. And we're contacting the clubs and soliciting raffle prizes, and different people are doing different things. And for the life of me, I can't remember who's who in the pew, but the answer to the question is we're going to centrally bring those prizes together. We're going to have silent auction. We're going to have door prizes. We're going to have a live auction. We got a great trip, a great tour around St. Simon's Island, a boat tour that we have available for live auction purchase. And I'll tell you,
we got a tour and a hotel and a meal and a ice cream that we're packaging. Yeah.
That's great. So see, we've got these things, and so we'll figure out which goes in what pot, because we'll do that. And so we'll have some fun. Again, we'll have more fun, and we're gonna have a live auction here. It won't be me, although I can do it if I had to. I can do a little bit of but I'm gonna try to stay out of that business this time.
Let's also get an update on the district grants. I know that is coming up and people need to get paperwork in. So if you could give us an update on the district grants and what is the district grants, if there's anybody new watching.
Well, for the new folks, each year, the district is granted a certain amount of money to distribute around the district for projects to subsidize projects that clubs are doing as long as those projects meet the guidelines. So this year we had 60 some odd $1,000 to distribute. And we did that throughout the application process. Everyone who participated was allocated their grants. The projects go from buying dictionaries to doing safety training to doing, I don't know, there's
trees,
again,
trees. Yeah.
planting trees, just a myriad of things. But the way it works is the club is approved for a grant. They do the grant, and then they submit the receipts from their expenses back to the grants committee for reimbursement to the club for their grant expenses. So now is the time. A lot of the clubs have already done their projects. Some are still preparing to do their projects, but we still have to wrap it up. We have to do two things. We have to wrap up this year's grants. So if you have projects outstanding, you need to get them done. Then we need to submit the receipts so that you can be reimbursed. And we won't do it not all at the last minute. The idea is to do it by the moment so we can spread it out. The second thing is we found ourselves with a little extra money. So in the newsletter, we announced through Chairman Hunt Thornhill, who's chairman of the grants committee, announced that we had some extra money that if the clubs wanted to apply for extra amount of money, to let them know, to let the grants committee know. So we've got a short window to do that. And we may have, if we have any surplus money, we'll carry it over or we'll find a way to distribute it. And I think I know somebody in the district can find a way to get all of it if we wanted to. And I've got some ideas as well. So we'll see. But now's the time to wrap up the projects, continue to have fun. And these grants have impact. Again, using the multiplier effect. If you're using a grant to buy 300 dictionaries for third graders, my opinion is you've impacted 1,500 lives immediately.
Yeah.
Using 3 kids and 2 adults in the family guideline. So that's going. But the second piece of it is for next year's grants, you have to have a representative of the club attend grants training and be certified. That certifies the club to be eligible for grant money for the next district year, which will be under District Governor Heather's guideline.
Excellent.
So the grants committee, we've got moving parts, if you will, and that's what's happening.
Thank you for clarifying that, because when you're first coming in, it's like, what's the grant? So
it took me about 20 years to understand it.
So we've got that on the agenda. I also want to cover CART.
Yes.
Yeah. What is CART? How, what's our goal? Why are we doing CART?
We each club has the blue buckets out, and we raise money for CART research, for Alzheimer's research. And so that money is collected. We reconcile that at the district conference, and we will have we'll honor the largest donating club. We'll compress all that money, and it goes into grants. And the grants have been, I think the grants were issued recently for this coming year. I think they were issued recently. We had a good bit of money coming back in our district. So it's a national organization that was originated in Sumter, South Carolina, some years ago, and we are very supportive in this district of Alzheimer's research. And as we know, Alzheimer's is a disease that spares, they take no prisoners. It takes no prisoners. So it's one of those, if your family member is affected by it, you know it. There's a lot that goes on with caring for Alzheimer's patients. So the Alzheimer's research.
Yeah. How much have we raised in the past? Got a lag on this Wi-Fi. Sorry.
I won't say it's over $300,000. Several $100,000. Yes.
Okay.
Maybe more than that. I don't know. I can't. Well, no, I'm thinking about one club. We've probably raised over $1 million. I'm going to guess $1 million.
So know when you put your change
So,
into blue buckets. Oh, we got internet problems. Can you hear me now? Okay. So know when
yeah,
you put change.
I had somebody popped in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I hope we don't get disconnected. All right. All right. Um,
No, here we are.
okay. So Ed, we're almost done. We've got GRSP to talk about and the international conference. It looks like GRSP has been selected for the upcoming year. What do you have any update on that?
Yes. Last weekend was GRSP selection. Not this weekend, but last weekend. So, or 2 weeks ago tomorrow, the GRSP trustees met, and among other things, the students for next year were selected. Now, the process goes as follows: the clubs have been notified that their students have been what student they were assigned or what student was selected. Now, the GRSP office will work with the students to make sure all the proper paperwork's done. So we have to have the visas. We have to make sure all the scores are in. We have to make sure all the commitment letters are accepted or offered and so on. So that's in process as we speak. While I'm thinking about GRSP, Catherine Fields was named as executive director of GRSP earlier this week, for moving forward, and that's fabulous. She is wonderful, and she made a presentation to the Macon Rotary Club Monday, and since I was home, I was able to watch it via Zoom, and it was a wonderful presentation. She has got energy above energy, so she's overseeing the whole process now. I don't know what kind of support team she'll be able to put together, but right now we're doing all that work. From the district standpoint, we
Go ahead.
we
Go
have
ahead.
8 students in the district, 9 students now, and they'll be at the district conference. So we'll showcase that. So for the clubs that haven't participated in the past, there's still time for you to get together with another club and participate, because money is always the issue. But the commitments have been made.
Excellent.
And,
Okay.
and
So the
then what was the last?
Oh, the last one is the International Rotary International's conference
International conference.
in Houston.
It's going to be in Houston in early June. It's time to register. The Rotary International put out an announcement yesterday that they've extended a special registration fee to the end of February for registrations. They did say it will be in person. The board has voted, it will be in person this year. That's the first for the last several years. We're all excited about that. So if you're inclined to go to Houston, which I hope we are, there's no limit on how many people can go. It's just a matter of who wants to go. Our district budgeted or not budgeted, expected or hoped to have a minimum of 25 people go. I hope we have 50 go. So that'll be nice. We'll see. The district.
Yeah.
The district. Apparently the International Rotary International measures what the propensity of attendance is, and I got a list or a number saying that they're looking for 25 registrations from our district as a minimum, and we're pretty well on the way to that. I'd like to say that, and I don't have a requirement, but I'd like to think that we'd have double that. It's in Houston,
so
it's in the United States. Houston's cool, and Houston, the international convention is unbelievable. Having been to only one, it is unbelievable and
Did you go to the Atlanta one?
That was my one, and I was amazed, and I can't wait to go to Houston. It's going to be amazing.
Next year is in Australia, so all y'all president-elects coming in, y'all get to go to Australia.
If you can find the money, you can go. So it'll be great. So if you want a taste of it, go to Houston, and I'm sure there'll
Oh, we're
It's
breaking up again.
pose
Can you hear me?
well. It's I can hear you.
It just,
I
I
hear
hope
you
we
very
don't get,
well.
okay, good.
Well,
So
we're dealing with weather issues, so
I think when I went to the first international conference in Atlanta, that's when I realized how really international, I mean, countries from all over the world came and they talked about their global grants and people connected and said, oh, our club would like to do that. Let's help. And I wonder if that's
yes.
where Hamsa's connection with Serbia came with our district. I think it was
I bet
$78,000
it
that
would.
we combined with Hungary
Uh-huh.
and Serbia for the robots. I
Probably.
think
He visited Serbia recently. We've been working on this a couple of years now. In Atlanta, we had a meeting. We had a sidebar meeting in Atlanta with several clubs in India and Pakistan in our district with Hamsa. And that's when I started learning a lot about how the process worked. And
yeah,
Hamsa was getting really engaged. And so that has morphed into where we are today. And I think we're just on the beginning of what's going to be a leadership role internationally. So
you
yeah,
know,
and it does show. Um, Before I forget, I want to. There's a couple of things I'd like to do. The weather's interfering with our signal, I think. But
mhm.
besides that, I really want to thank Paula Goodnow. Is Paula still on? Can you see?
I can't tell, but I think she is. Paula, are you still
Okay,
there? Yeah.
okay. Anyway, whether she is or whether she isn't, I want to thank her for her work and support. She and
She
I
is.
have had an absolute blast working together. And to those of us that start getting emails all the time and it says Paula Goodnow, there's a reason. And it is a good reason. So I can't thank Paula enough, but I can't thank you enough either, Marjorie. You've been very helpful, and Leslie and Bruce Montgomery, and the list goes Homs, and I can go all the way down. And I'll do that at the conference. But
It's
there are
teamwork, but
folks that maybe just
Paula's pulling all the strings. Paula keeps it
yeah,
together.
Paula's pulling the strings. Yep.
She
So
is.
I just want to thank.
Yeah,
This is a
Paula,
month
thank
to be thankful, and I guess I'm sending out Valentine's.
you. I'm thinking about buying a bunch of Hershey Kisses for my club on the 14th because it's on a
Oh,
Monday. That
cool. Yeah. Well,
Paula
our
wrote.
club have given. Uh,
Yeah.
our club's giving away a Mercedes Benz the Friday before Valentine's Day. The raffle will be through, so
Wow.
we'll
Wow.
raise a good bit of money for, and the person that wins will own the Mercedes outright. So it's not drive it for a year; it's own it for life. So, and it's been
That's
very
fabulous.
successful. So
Well,
anyway, happy Valentine's Day. So.
it is. So if there's anything else we want to recap before we say see you next month?
Well, I hope everybody notices in the newsletter that this Clemson Tiger acknowledged the national championship of the Georgia Bulldogs with a picture of Kirby jumping up in the air with the interception. The young man that made the interception also intercepted the ball against Clemson and scored a touchdown. So, as a Clemson graduate, I'm delighted to welcome all the University of Georgia people to the three-time national championship club. I just thought I'd have to throw that
That
out
was
there.
cute. I liked how Leslie added that you guys added that into
Yeah,
the
so
newsletter.
yeah,
So,
it was fun.
well, District Governor,
So,
we
but
are hoping you feel better. And if anybody has any questions, Ed's always available to answer them, or Leslie.
24/7, 24/7.
Yeah,
Yep, twenty-four
exactly.
seven. So Leslie has done very well in doing things.
Oh, you're breaking up again. Uh-oh.
She's
I think we probably better hang up before we get disconnected here. Ed, can you hear me? Uh-oh. Okay, Paula said, remind clubs to pay their Rotary
Here,
International and Rotary District dues.
here I
Statement
am. I'm back.
sent out by the email. Oh, there you are. You're back. You're back.
Yeah, real quick, Paula sent me a note to remind everybody that the dues have been sent out, the local and international dues, please pay them. So we don't have to do a follow-up to dues collections, so, dues payments. So it does help fund things. So thank you.
Thank you. And I look forward to seeing everybody at the district conference in Augusta, Georgia.
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to going back. I lived there for 2 years back in the 80s, and Augusta has really turned into a beautiful, beautiful city. I just can't believe the change from the early 80s to now. It's spectacular. It's really wonderful.
It is. It's phenomenal. We're excited. I can tell you, we're excited. So we're looking forward to it. And I hope, and the registrations are open and they're coming in. And sooner, this time next month, I hope we'll be locked and loaded.
Awesome. All right. Farewell for now. We'll see you at the district conference. Thanks for being on. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.